Hello everyone, welcome to the Module 9 Program Delivery Part 2 with me, Teguh Amor, Patria. In this video, you'll learn about helpful hints to present your interpretive program to your audience. In addition, you'll also learn about personal contacts, disengagement, and interpretive logbook. To make your interpretive program a better one, here are some helpful hints. Overcoming fear. The key to overcome fear is to learn to recognize and walk that fine line between energizing anxiety and outright terror. Remember that your audience is made up of people just like you. Know your material, so if someone asks for more details than you have on hand, simply admit that you're not sure and direct them to another source of information. Practice tour presentation and get wrapped up in your passion for the subject matter. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is a critical part of your interpretive presentation. With your posture, your attitude, and facial expressions, you either welcome people or let them know you're too busy for them. Stand in front of the mirror or videotape yourself as you run through your program. Keep your hair out of your face. Avoid wearing excessive amounts of jewelry. And it is also important to avoid using very strong cologne or aftershave lotions while guiding. If you wear sunglasses on sunny days, take them off when speaking. Voice modulation. Variety breathes life into a presentation and holds the interest of the audience. A videotape or audio tape of your presentation is one of the easiest ways to tell if your voice is varied enough to hold audience interest. If you have a pronounced accent, try to soften it, but not eliminate it. Practice enunciating difficult and commonly mispronounced words. Registers of voice. Registers of voice are useful tools in programs when you deliver quotes, tell stories, or read from a well-written book. Whispering is used by many storytellers to emphasize important passages. Reading aloud to your children, friends, or family members from storybooks or fairy tales is a great way to practice. Using humor or anecdotes. Using humor in a personal presentation can be a bit tricky to find a balance between universal humor and personal affront. In any case, avoid jokes that poke fun of individuals or groups of people, even if you personally find the jokes enjoyable. Using foreign accents can be effective if you are from the ethnic group being portrayed. Nevertheless, if you're not comfortable using humor in your programs, think about using personal anecdotes or stories of famous people to illustrate your points. Next are some tips about informal interpretation worth knowing, including personal contacts. Examples of informal interpretation opportunities include working at the information desk of a visitor center, roving a natural trail, standing in the new exhibit at the museum, or hanging out on a deck of a cruise boat. In many ways, this interaction is the most powerful chance for an interpreter or guide to make a real difference with the audience. You are engaged in communication one-to-one or with just a few people at a time, and your focus can be on their specific questions and interests. On the other hand, knowledge of your audience is important in every interpretive setting. When you have enough knowledge of visitors' interests, time limits, and concerns, you can shape what you do and say to meet their needs and expectations. Sometimes you can answer their simple questions about the location of restrooms or availability of a map and find out their other needs. The goal with any informal exchange is to create an interpretive opportunity for the guests that might not happen otherwise. Disengagement. Disengaging from guests during informal interpretive situations is an art of its own. Occasionally, a guest will dominate your time and make it challenging to pull away without being rude. It is always reasonable to say, "Please excuse me while I check on other guests. I'll be back if time permits. Let me know if you have other questions later." Interpretive logbook. The interpretive logbook is one way to evaluate informal interpretation and coach guides and interpreters. Use the logbook concept to evaluate a variety of exchange with guests. The following points are recommended to create a form on which you can record each encounter. You may use either a narrative format or a short answer format for your logs. Be sure to address all applicable topics. Describe the audience. Interaction in your own words, making sure to include all applicable points such as location, special circumstances, how the interaction was initiated, what the audience's needs were and how you determined them, how you responded, how guests responded, how you enhanced the guest's experience. From this video, we learned some tips concerning delivering your program. In addition, the following tips also will help, including personal context, disengagement, and logbook. I hope these tips are helpful to you. See you in the next video, everyone.